Well, welcome back to SFC Live. It's a not very happy occasion for Sunderland fans today because they've conceded 5 at home. Chris Ray got a consolation goal in the second half, Danny. But we're going to front it out as we do with every single game. Where do we start? Should we run the highlights maybe and run over where Sunderland may have gone wrong this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, let's get the highlights underway, if we're going to call them that this afternoon. Yeah, and just talk in general really. So, debriefing the game as a whole, I thought we actually started okay. We said it, and for me it was a flip of the Cardiff game where Cardiff actually started quite well. I thought first 10 minutes, and then as soon as we got the penalty down there, it was all about ourselves, and they were awful. Couldn't keep the ball. And it was pretty much, unfortunately, the case of that this afternoon for myself, where they were our 2 half chances in the first half, and then after that, Blackburn just come into the game. I don't think they were exceptional by any stretch. I thought they just eased their way up the pitch. We started making errors, giving the ball away. 2 pedestrian on the ball, almost like the Queen's Park Rangers game. The difference being, in this game, Blackburn have taken their chances when they've come along, whereas Queen's Park Rangers didn't. So we got away with it that day for me. And yeah, just disappointing for Mike Dodds. What's he going to be saying in there? How's he scratching his head after this one, after what we said was a good performance down at Cardiff? Well, there we go. Now let's get on to the goals here, and then it's just getting bodies and picking up. And the disappointing thing that nobody's laid a glove on Smodics. We haven't mentioned his name on comms there for the first 15-20 minutes or so in the game, and then look, he just finds himself a little pocket of space. Dan Ballard tries to come across there. I think he has to leave one man to come across, and then, well, it's too late, isn't it? Ball's in the back of the net, and as I said there, Anthony Patterson, he's probably, if we're honest, he hasn't got a chance with any of the 5 goals which he's conceded this afternoon. Very little to go on from our point of view in terms of the highlights, and we just mentioned it there before we finished on comms, didn't we, where the fact that you can get away with having 1 or 2 having an off day and almost carry them through the game, and obviously or make a change, whereas today we were just nowhere near it throughout the pitch, where instead of having 7s and 8s out of 10s, we've had 4s across the board, if we're honest. And then you see it again there. Look here now in the corner, we've got 4 or 5 bodies around 2 or 3. It is a good touch from Hedges. Luke comes in tight, gets rolled, pulls it back, and again it's almost a carbon copy from where he finishes this one, from what he did from his first one, yeah, across Anthony Patterson into that bottom corner. And from not mentioning his name for what, 20 minutes or so in the game there, he's put 2 in the back of the net, hasn't he? So disappointing. And then from there on in, it was all about Blackburn. They enjoyed themselves, from what has been a rotten sort of season from their point of view, hasn't it? 10 games without a win.
Yeah, we haven't said that though, Danny. They didn't really play us off the park though,
no,
did they?
No,
the scoreline
suggests
they did. They didn't.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because you say, well, does 5-1 flatter them? Possibly a little bit, but they've taken their chances when they've come along. And on the counter-attack where, we give the ball away high up now, is this the next one coming up? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Again, I think Ekwas tried to play a pass on that left-hand side. It's got cut out, and then we're running back towards our own goal. We're not setting a defensive shape. We've still got bodies back there. I think Dan Ballard's unlucky. He knows he's got a man outside him there. And I think it's Hedges again then, isn't it? You see it back now as he goes to play it across. He thinks he's going to let that run to the man outside him, Smodics, but he doesn't. And then he can pick his corner. And it's a lovely finish. And then that's pretty much game over then, isn't it? Straight after the break, where you're looking for a reaction, whatever Mike Dodds says is going out the window.
Least, yeah.
And then straight after it is the 4th now, throwing in there. Dan Neil gets caught on the ball. And then Dolan, isn't it, comes across, little toe poke off that left-hand side post. And once again, as I say there, no chance for Anthony Patterson. And then that's game over then, isn't it? Well, most of the fans have left by now. And I say there's still half an hour or so left in the game, so that's where you have got to try and dig in as a player. I've been there myself, at the stadium or wherever you've been. You're on the back of a hide in front of your own fans. It's not a great feeling, but you can't just mope around and feel sorry for yourself. You've got to try and dig in. It's as difficult as it is. And Pierre, pulling the trigger on one there, isn't he? Always going past the keeper's post on that far side. This Chrissy Rigg one, Chris off the bench, wasn't he? Just straight offside on that far side there. So it was difficult for Styles there. It's getting tighter, isn't it? Feeds a decent little ball over the top, to be fair to him. But as you say, Chris there doesn't keep himself on side. And then it's just the one where he fizzes across. Yeah, look there, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And nobody just gambling at the right time, getting across the 6-yard line, getting themselves a tap in. As we've seen from the Blackburn goals, really, wasn't it? Where it wasn't great movement as such in the box. They just happened to be there. It wasn't the case for Sunderland. And And then this is Chrissy Riggs' goal now. Yeah, see it back. Dan Neil gets a little bit of space, just feeds a nice ball over the top. Bradley Dack in between centre back and full back. Keeper makes a save, can't really push it to safety. And Chris Riggs there following up for his second goal of the season. Got that one earlier in the season, didn't he, against Southampton at home. And then there's Blackburn now. Middle of the park, stretched down this right hand side. Just chops inside there, Styles. It's a little bit luck there, it just pops up, doesn't it? And then say Smodic's there, he's probably going for goal. Just helps it back into the area though. And there's Moran there to help himself to Blackburn's fifth. And yeah, a disastrous afternoon all round, isn't it, really? As you say there, for a side who conceded 20 more goals than us this season as well before the start of play. They've had a comfortable afternoon, haven't they? In general, their lads at the back, you know, albeit they haven't gone away with a clean sheet, but you know, their keeper hasn't had too many saves to make.
No, he hasn't, and Mike Dodds will be unhappy about that, won't he? Of course, all these Sunderland fans inside the stadium this afternoon, they were scratching their heads as well. They were shell-shocked as everyone,
yeah.
You know, when the first couple of goals were banged in by Smodics, and then the start to the second half, you really felt like all hope was extinguished with that early goal from Hedges.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, for half an hour of the first half, we were nowhere near it. As I say, the ball speed, the movement off the ball, not helping each other out with the passing, all that was there. And it almost led to the downfall, really.
I'm not looking for excuses here, Danny, but do you get to a point of the season where fatigue really kicks in? You know, we've just gone off the back of an international break.
Yep.
Not all the players will have stopped playing during that international break.
No.
But we're, you know, was this game 40? Was it today? We're pretty much at or in and around.
Yeah,
aren't we?
yeah, it was game 40. Yeah.
Does that play a part in today? I'm not looking for excuses. I'm
no,
looking for possible, you know, answers.
No, but what I've said there, I'm not sure how many players Blackburn had away on international duty, but yeah, we've had a certain amount of players who have had a break, and then all of a sudden we were saying now revitalised. Job looked in a way, he was excellent down at Cardiff, just didn't happen for him today, you know, playing in the same role. I thought Dan Neil looked leggy, Ekwar was leggy, gave the ball away time and time again, got caught on it. So if your two midfielders aren't running the game in the middle of the pitch, then that's how it goes. You know, Dan was excellent down at Cardiff. That can happen in football sometimes, but we have too many who had an off day today, and you can't get away with it in football, or you're very fortunate if you do. I wouldn't say it's down to fatigue. I said it there. Blackburn kicked off at 5:30 on Friday, so we had 3 hours more rest than them. They've had to travel back up here today as well, so you take that into consideration, and they look full of energy, especially in that second half as well. So, yeah, disappointing, isn't it? As you say, we've just said before the game, good result at Cardiff. You want to build on it. You know, I hate that saying, but you haven't got anything to play for in terms of promotion, and you know we're not going to get relegated. But you keep on playing between now and the end of the season. You're playing for your pride, and you're playing because you get paid to be a professional footballer. And the worst case scenario, you run about and you put energy in, you put tackles in, and even that sort of died away in that second half, if we're honest as well. I said it, didn't I, on comms, where looked around at the body language from one or two, feeling sorry for themselves, shoulders were down. It can't happen, you know, you've got to dig in. And the young lads as well, and I know that, but yeah, you don't want to have too many days like this, especially on your home patch.
Okay then, what should we do next? Let's have a look around at the other scores if we can then, please. See what's been happening in the Championship. There's still a couple of big games happening later on this evening. And you got the first kick-off at 5:30 between Ipswich Town and Southampton, and then the late kick-off, Leeds versus Hull City. There was an early kick-off that finished 3-1 to Leicester City against Norwich City. In the other games, Birmingham City 1, Preston North End 0, Coventry City 1, Cardiff City 2. So Cardiff recovering from that game on Friday to beat Coventry City. Middlesbrough, they get another win against Sheffield Wednesday. Plymouth Argyle struggling. They were beaten 1-0 at home by Bristol City, Sunderland's next opponents. Rotherham United have won by 2-1 against Millwall. Stoke City 1, Huddersfield Town 1. Swansea City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1, and it was 2-2 between West Bromwich Albion and Watford. What does that do to the league table from a Sunderland perspective? Well, we've got a snapshot of where Sunderland sit in the league. They have dropped to 13th. Bristol City have jumped ahead of them. Sunderland is currently sitting on 51 points. Blackburn Rovers, that's moved them up a couple of spaces from 19th to 17th. They're on 45 now. Sunderland sit on 51, as I mentioned. Let's have a quick thought of one of the fans watching around the world, Red and White Haddock always gets in touch, has said, do you think we need our next coach / manager in now to bed in for the start of next season? I'd imagine the discussions are happening week after week about this, but do you feel like the club are getting pushed into a position where they might have to announce or certainly try and get their man before the end of the season, especially if Sunderland were to go on another couple of games of defeats?
Yeah, and like we did today. Well, first thing is, it's who are the candidates they've got lined up. Obviously, Michael Beale went a few weeks ago. Now Mike Dodds has had to step in. Now, are they getting somebody in place? Have they got their man in place ready to go for the start of next season, and obviously gets the full pre-season, and maybe have they agreed it? I'm not sure. You know, we're not sure of that.
Yeah.
No, we don't know all that. But no, I wouldn't have thought so. No, I think they'll let Mike Dodds see it through till the end of the season. As I said there, we're not going to go up. I don't think we're going to go down. But you don't want too many more results like today. I wouldn't throw that on Mike Dodds by any stretch, by the way. You know, as a former player, you always look at yourself first, and have those lads done enough today, and they'll hold their hands up and say, no, we haven't. I get what the question is. You know, do you get a manager in now or head coach to come in? He can have a look at the players. A lot of the lads are obviously contracted, are going to be here next season. So we can get a feel of what the players are like, maybe try one or two things already. Or do you now just see it through till the end of the season and then start from a clean slate in the summer? He comes in end of June, whenever he comes in, get ready for pre-season, gets a full 4 or 5 weeks of working with the players. Obviously, I think they're off to Spain, aren't they? Go out there, get the games under the belts, get a few new bodies in the building, and then weigh it up from there. That's how I think they're going to go, yeah. So they're going to be weighing it up. Obviously, you know, there's going to be pressure coming in after what's happened again this afternoon. But yeah, certainly it's going to be a big appointment for the club.
Yes. Okay, then. Attention turns to Saturday. Yes. Another game comes thick and fast at this point of the season. And this week, we're back here. Hopefully back down pitch side if the rain stops. Against Bristol City. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, means we'll be on air from 2:15 here on SAFC Live. If you're watching around the world, you can get your matchday streaming passes right now at safc.com. If you're watching in the UK and you want to join us for the open training session on Wednesday morning, you can do that by getting your tickets from safc.com as well. Kids go free, but they have to be accompanied by an adult, and you can purchase those tickets at safc.com. It's been a weekend of mixed results for Sunderland over the course of Easter weekend, but we'll be back on Saturday.